You've had a lot of singles and tag titles over the years, over your career. Which one of those was especially significant for you?
To me, some of the most significant was probably the tag team belts that we had in ECW. Me and Sandman, tag team champions. To me, back then, belts mean something. It was also nice for me to have the TV title. Not one time, not two times, but three time, 4-time TV champion. So to me, those belts mean a lot. But to me, over in Japan, to be the first ones with Noah, when it came out with the belts for me and Vader, to be the first guy teams to have the tag team belts. And Japan, normally getting belts with a new company, you can almost guarantee 8 out of 10 times it's going on the Japanese wrestler. So for us to get the tag team belts first and be able to be the torch to pass them on meant a lot. And then for them to turn around and give me the GHC hardcore title and to be able to take it from Akiyama at the time that I took it meant a lot.
You know, certainly in the 90s you saw your fair share of, you just mentioned you got the hardcore title and then you were in ECW for a while there. And you know, we don't see that kind of hardcore or extreme wrestling on the level that we saw then. It's certainly sort of gone away. How do you feel about that and the way that sort of like that style of wrestling has changed over the years?
I really truly believe that anything that works, that Vince doesn't have his hands on, it's a problem. Okay, ECW was an era of a totally different style of wrestling. It had nothing to do with WCW, it had nothing to do with WWF. It had its own flavor, its own storyline, and a lot of tables and chairs, and a lot of blood and guts. And for some reason, there's that certain crowd of people that still like to see that hard, strong style of fighting. And being in Philadelphia, we was able to get that crowd. And I believe that when he sold the company to Vince, and Vince tried to do the whole ECW thing, you can't do ECW and then water it down with a gallon of water and expect for it still to taste the same. Because if you drink alcohol and you're an alcoholic drinker and you water down my damn drink, I'ma know it.
And then just to follow up on, can we get a good Sandman story maybe, or just in the time you were tagging?
Scared shitless. Sandman story. First time in the posse down in ECW, road trip. We're going from Hamburg, from Philadelphia to Hamburg. It was probably like 2-hour drive to the next town. We're going to Hamburg. This place we worked where the goddamn building sat on the side of the mountain, and if you got too many people in it, that shit was like rock, like it was gonna fall off the mountain any goddamn time. His thing was, I need a case of beer to get there. I'm also gonna need a bag of weed. I might need about 5 or 6 lines too as well. But I wanna do all of this while I'm driving.
And he would insist on driving?
Always. He was the designated driver, believe it or not. We would trust him to be our designated driver. And I mean, going from far right to the far left, to the far right, to off the damn highway, passing damn people to jump back on, just so we can get up past a few hundred goddamn cars. And Lord knows that as soon as I get to this first rest stop, I might have to change my shorts. All right, but anyways, I mean, he's going back and forth and he's drinking the whole time. We're rolling and we're drinking and we're smoking just to get to the vignette. Now, by the time we get to the vignette, we already about half fucked up. So now we gotta wrestle, we gotta do the show, and God forbid if he's on early, because now he's gonna be more fucked up when it's time to go home. And now we got to rely on him to take us back home, because as many times as all of us been in the goddamn car with him, we still don't know where the hell we going. Sandman moves over to goddamn Utah. We in Philadelphia gotta go to Jim Thorpe. We driving around the damn road, been there 20 times, 30 times. We can't find him up there. We got to call Sandman in Utah to give us directions in Philadelphia how to get to the damn building that we're 20 minutes away from.
So good Sandman story.
Is he got to give us where you're from, or?
You know, Sandman, I still holler at Sandman any chance I get when I'm down in Philadelphia. We still holler, we still talk. You know, God forbid, you know, poor soul, you know, I mean, through all the bumps that been dropped on our heads and all the drugs that we done, he can't even remember half the damn stories or half the shit that we did back in the day when we was doing it.
We got any other questions here? Yeah, right.
You touched on that a little, but Too Cold Scorpio is not much of a gimmick, but much of an extension of yourself. What's the percentage?
Too Cold Scorpio is a shoot. Too Cold Scorpio is MF. He can be a motherfucker, or he can be mother's finest. It all depends on how you treat me. But in reality, I say if most wrestlers, kind of like a Ric Flair never get out of his damn gimmick. Lord knows, Ric Flair, your ass on TV, that's a gimmick. When you go home, leave your gimmick at work. Unfortunately, a lot of us wrestlers that get into business have a tendency to truly live your gimmick, think that's your true gimmick. Me, Scorpio is just more or less kind of who I really am. I'm a Scorpion by trade, that's my sign. I do love to go out, I do love to have fun. So really what I really portray in the ring is more or less what I really am, you know, so.
So then, kind of thinking back on, you know, with Scorpio, what about, say, Flash Funk? How was that pitched to you, or like any stories about that run as Flash Funk?
Flash Funk was nothing but a pimp. And if you see them hoes Flash Funk girls, you tell them I want my damn money. Alright, because they still owe me. No, like I said, like I was saying, you know, the pretty power came in before you mentioned, you know, Flash Funk was more or less was a challenge. It was to prove Vince that don't matter what gimmick you give Too Cold, I'm gonna be able to take that gimmick and get it over. So it was about proving a point to him that I could get that gimmick over, but living the life as Flash Funk, doing the gimmick, man, everybody thought I was supposed to be with two women at all times, and I thought that shit too.
So do you feel like you, in a lot of ways, I guess you preceded the Godfather character?
No, back that shit up.
I said preceded.
Flash Funk was the original Godfather of Funk. Okay, now the Godfather just came in and stole my damn gimmick because Vince wanted another pimp in there besides me.
You saw sore feelings over that today, or?
I'm mad.
Okay.
I'm mad.
Let's talk about something that your in-ring style. Like, how did you decide on what would be your finish, your finish move? How did you figure that out over time?
Basically is, you know, like I said, once again, I had that opportunity to go to New Japan after teaching myself about wrestling, then to go to Japan and learn that Japanese style, physical style of wrestling, and then being able to go to Mexico and learn the Mexican style of wrestling, which was totally different than the American and the Japanese, because now you got people that's working on your right side, and in America, everybody works on your left side, so I'm like, whoa, this is different. And then when I went to Europe, learned, okay, wait a minute, European style wrestling is totally different than American and Japanese. So what I did was took what I thought that would be best for me. Take a little of the European here, take a little Mexican there, take a little Japanese, take a little American, and kind of just all rolled that around into one. And that's how I got Too Cold Scorpio. You know, I try to be, or I wanted to be, because I used to look at Shawn Michaels, you know, as a chameleon. Myself, I've always wanted to be a chameleon. Didn't matter if I was fighting against a midget, didn't matter if I was fighting against a big guy. I wanted to be able to go out there and make it believable, whether it was against a midget or whether it was against a giant. So for me, it was best for me to learn all these different styles, and just for some reason, the styles and the things that I picked and the way that I was using them and my everyday matches and things like that, it just kind of evolved and kind of just made Scorpio who he was today. A lot of my finishes, as far as me innovating the 450, being an innovator, everybody's like, oh, the 450, yeah, I invented that motherfucker, okay? A little bit over 35 years ago, all by accident. My main interest was I used to come down, jump over the first row, try to pick the biggest guy sitting in the first row, jump over the guy in the first row, land, jump up on the apron, climb up to the top, stand up on the top, do the old snooker, and then I would cut the front flip. Cut the front flip, land on my feet, started a little dance thing, you know. And so I said, you know, me and my buddy, you know, Stray Cat and Bill Grimson, oh, biker do the mines. we went down to Los Angeles and we picked up some metal, some scrap metal, and you know, this, that, and next thing you know, we down there at Pop's house, welding us together a ring. He said, fuck it, we're gonna make us a ring. So we built a ring, brought it back up to Colorado, set it up in the backyard, got out the old dummy. I threw the dummy out there. So I went on, you know, working my entrance, check out the ropes, make sure that we built everything and everything is, you know, tight and good. Got up on the top rope and went to cut that front flip and I over rotated and landed on my stomach. Oh shit, jumped up. Oh, okay, I'm good. Nothing broken. Got the wind knocked out of me a little bit, but I'm good. So I went out and got the dummy and did it a couple more times. The next thing you know, hey, 450. That's my new finishing move.
And it's a great move. It always looked amazing. I wanted to have questions here. Do we have anybody right here?
How hard is it to work a match when there's a language barrier, like in Mexico or Japan? Is it harder?
What I found out is wrestling around the world pretty much is all the same. It's a little bit different in Mexico, it's a little bit different in Europe. What I found out the easiest as far as with the barrier, hand language, sign language, basically, you know, kind of directed on what you're gonna do, motion, you know, kind of what you're gonna do, and it seemed to be able to pick up with a lot of other guys like that quite well.
Is there a question all the way in the back there that I see, or no? Okay.
Any other questions here? Yes.
Question?
So you told a crazy story about Sandman, and I've heard that New Jack is kind of a little crazy himself. Do you have any crazy, scary New Jack stories?
New Jack is not right in his head. Yes, I said that. New Jack was one of those type of guys that basically grew up around the hood, used to that quick money, fast money. I'm a bounty hunter. Let me go out, catch you, bust you in your head, get my money, get my quick money. He come down up in Smoky Mountain before they get to ECW. They come down to ECW, I'm down there, I do a promo. Guy asks me questions about the gangsters, what I think about them. Me, being the motherfucker that I be, I just strictly said, yo, you up in Tennessee, why the hell you gotta play the racial game with the watermelon and the fried chicken if your wrestler can speak for itself? And so evidently, he thought that I was saying something either negative or bad, whatever. So when they first came down in the ECW, right away, he came to me. I mean, I heard you was talking shit about us, man. Like, yo, man, I'm gonna tell you just like it is. I've been in the business X amount of time. I learned from Ron Simmons, and I learned from some of the best. Okay? If you don't know how to go out and work and get heat without using the cheap heat or the racial heat, then you really don't need to be in the business. There's a whole kind of ways that you can make a person mad, mess with the fans and make with the audience, because you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that yay boo. You're gonna have those guys, those fans that love the heel. You're gonna have those guys that hate the baby face and vice versa. You know, and that's what I kept trying to tell them, man. Do it with your work and not with the chicken shit, you know, use your fried chicken watermelon and give me bullshit. Second New Jack story.
Yeah.
Please.
Here in Mustafa, ECW ringer, we got a big show going on. Cage match. We up the night before, we go out, we do our show, we kick ass. Of course, after ECW, you get back about 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Now your promos start. You're supposed to do a promo at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. How the hell are you supposed to do a promo at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when your ass half drunk, half fucked up, and don't know what town or what state you in, but yet you gotta do a shoot promo. So we do these promos, finally get down 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Next day we got a big show, everybody's getting to go to the arena. And Mustafa, New Jack comes to my room, he's screaming, what the hell did you get Mustafa? Mustafa? That motherfucker came to my room at 2 o'clock in the morning, we smoked some killer fucking weed, had a couple drinks, that motherfucker went on about his way talking about smoking pencil shavies. I said, smoking pencil shavies? That motherfucker done lost his mind. So he gonna wonder about his goddamn business. Evidently, he really did lose his damn mind because they came, AVAC them, they had to take that motherfucker to the crazy house for about 48 hours, Baker locked his ass up. So now we got the big show. I'm down there, I'm supposed to work, do my singles match, and now New Jack coming to me, want to fight me, because he think I'm the one who fucked up his partner. No, your partner's all fucked up by himself. Got nothing to do with Too Cold, but if you want to fight, we can go right here, right now. And so we end up having to have a tag match that night, end up tagging together. We're working, and so we work against Public Enemy. Cage match, flaming tables. We do the cage match, boom, 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 boom. I believe I had the titles that night too and stuff as well, and I might have lost the titles. I put the titles up that night too. I think I might have lost the titles that night against that match and stuff, but it was just amazing how in every tag team around the world you have that one that's on the straight and narrow path, that's all about business, and then you have his partner who's always fucked up, or with somebody and you gotta drag him, gotta pack his bag, and you gotta make sure he gets to the events on time and shit, you gotta feed him coffee and water just so he can get through the damn match, you know, so.
Did you have a lot of people that you work with that were like that, and that were in that boat?
ECW, what you think?
Okay, all right.
Fair enough. I just want to bring it back to NJPW a little bit, and because you were there like early on, and just looking at what it's, you know, how it's expanded today, and just saying how, you know, you were like the first Gaijins who got who titles. How do you think it's developed from then to what it is now, and how do you think it compares?
Just like everything else, everything revolves. Times do change. The guys now that go to New Japan, train in the dojo, they're not doing 1,000 squats. They're not doing 1,000 push-ups. They're not doing all the hours of the time that we spent when we was being broken to the dojo. The thing about Japan is they will not let you know that the business is a work until they truly believe that you're gonna make a wrestler. That's the thing about Japan. As far as things changing, it changed so much to the point where when you was first going to Japan, we're gonna pay you $35 on your first trip, $3,500, because it's your first trip, you've never been to Japan. Until you prove yourself and you show us what you're gonna do, that was a good payday. Nowadays, the problem has changed because there's so many guys who want to go to Japan so damn bad that now they fly themselves to Japan. You know, now they're paying themselves to stay. Well, when I went to Japan, they paid me $500 to train, plus per diem, plus food, and then when I was on tour, I got paid extra money to work the tours. That has totally changed. Now, like I say, they used to fly us business class and pay us at least $35. If you never worked over there, you was gonna get at least $3,500 a week. And you're working at least 4 or 5 days a week. Now, you'd be lucky to get $1,500 a week with the name, because that same kid over there has watched your video and he can do everything that you can do. And now we'll bring him over for half the price that you was doing, and not only that, but he'll stay in the dojo. Where back then, if you trained was the only time that you really stayed in the dojo. You never really flew yourself over here because they always took care of that. So now they realize, okay, you'll fly yourself over here to work for Japan, so now we're gonna undercut you. So instead of paying you $500 to do this match, we're gonna give you $150. $150 in Japan ain't shit. And so now you figure out, now you wonder why the guys have to stay at the dojo. Now they gotta eat at the dojo. So for me, times have totally changed compared to when I broke in and up until the time it is now.
How long did you live in Japan, all said?
I was one of the fastest guys from Muta, Hirohasi, who was my trainer, Ray Kinsey was my trainer at that time. They said that I was the only one to graduate from the dojo within 8 months. Chris Benoit, Bad News Allen, you know, they all had to do the 1 year and a half before they passed to the school. At 8 months, I said, you're done, you graduated, you're out. So after that, I was just on regular tours again after that.
Questions? Anybody?
Well, you had I've seen you a couple of shows in the Indies in Montreal and Ontario over the past year. So how's that going? How do you enjoy working around the area?
To be honest with you, it's almost a damn shame that you have to go to an indie company or a local company just to find great wrestlers and to see a great match. I would prefer to go to the NDCs, work with the NDCs and have a good match and work with some of the great up and coming talent that I can't figure out why the hell they're still on the indies and not up there in the big times. You know, so for me, I truly enjoy doing a lot of the more indie shows than I would if I was up on contract again.
And I want just to follow up on that. You are still wrestling, and you know, I've seen you wrestle pretty recently, and you're looking pretty good in the ring, if I do say so myself. And how long do you plan on keep doing this? Do you have like a plan, or?
You know, there's never really no plan. You know, when the man upstairs says, yo, you need to hang up your boots and get your ass out the ring, I'm out the ring. But as long as I'm still able to flip, flop, and fly, and still give the people what they come to see, I'm gonna keep doing it until I can't do it no more.
Do you have any help from like DDP yoga or anything?
Nah, man, just that little green bag called Bud.
Well, so that, I guess that's, I mean, hey, I'll talk for an hour about that, but
Herbal medicine.
Where's Rob? Where's Rob? All right.
that's the RVD school thought, though.
The RVD, School of Weed, what the hell?
I really do want to keep talking about that, but yeah, what's up here?
Alright, so I'm hoping that maybe New Japan could kind of contract you for the Wrestle Kingdom Battle Royal, in which you always get like the legend stuff. I'm really hoping that maybe next year you probably would.
Hell to the no.
Oh.
If you bring me in on any kind of legend deal, do not put my ass in the battle royal. Let me lace up my boots. Let me go out there flip, flop, and fly and give these people what they come to see. Not me in no damn battle royal.
Who's your favorite indie guy that you've worked with?
Man.
Match with Mike Bailey was pretty fantastic.
No, that was awesome. I have to agree with him. You know, Mike Bailey is so impressive. Kind of remind me of a young me back when I thought I could do all that shit. You know what I mean? So you know, and I mean, it's really hard for me to call out some of the indie guys that I had really great matches with. And I just got to be honest with you, it's because I don't remember names very well, and I smoke way entirely too much fucking pot to remember which guy I had my last great match with. So to be honest with you, there's been a lot of great guys on the NDCs that I had matches with. If you've seen some of them, if you pitch some names at me, I can tell you, yeah, that was a good one, no, that wasn't a good one, or I don't remember because I was high as hell on that one.
I remember last year at CAW Black Dynamite, I think you started a match and then turned into a tag team match, if I remember correctly.
Pretty Boy came out. Joey,
I can't remember.
Joey Rock.
no,
Definitely not.
he was over in, I kind of know what you're talking about. I kind of do remember that match. So
was
me and the black kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Banks. Brett Banks.
No, Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then it was Ned Banks afterwards, yeah. See, thank you for reminding me.
You know, you have mentioned the herbal remedies a couple times here, and I think there's talk as to whether that's an okay thing for today's like wrestlers, like within the WWE. If that's okay for them to do because of the wellness policy and all that stuff. Like they get tested. Where do you stand on that? Do you think that should be something that's just like allowed across the board in professional wrestling today? Or?
My thing is when I first came into the WWF, that was one of the biggest things that I told Vince on contract. I said, you can bring me in, but I'm gonna tell you right now, half the shit that I've created, half the moves that I've done because I was high when I've done them and created them. And most of the time for me to do them, I have to be high to do them again. And Vince's thing was like, I'm okay with that as long as you keep it on the down low and everybody don't know. So basically what happened is one of the top guys got busted for cocaine, and then they was talking about suspending him and firing him and this and that. And he brought up the whole thing, well, how come you're not testing this guy who smokes weed and that guy who smells like pot? So that's why the whole thing of the pot thing started up. Me personally, there's a lot of functional people that can function well on smoking, and there's some people who, no, you shouldn't smoke until after your shit is done. And then again, you gotta figure there's so many guys now that step in the ring is, how many handfuls of pills have you taken before you got in the ring? Because if that's the case, I really don't want to work with you. Or how much have you had to drink before you? I'd rather be in the ring with the guy who has some smoke than the guy who has some drink or filled his nose up with coke to get in there with me. Because now, if he gets in and he has a heart attack or something happens, I'm going to feel like that's on me.
But just in terms of like, for the guys today, just in terms of stuff like pain management and,
I believe in the natural pain medicine. Me, myself, I take it for everything. I got a headache, I smoke weed. I got pain in my knee, I smoke weed. Got pain in my tooth, I smoke weed. A dentist, what's that? No, roll up another one. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
We have time for like 1 or 2 more questions. Anybody else have anything they want to say to people?
So, what would you say for inspiring wrestlers that want to get into business?
If you're trying to get into this business, always remember, if you're getting into this business, you're getting into it for the love of the business and what you love to do. I got into the business because I love to hear people go, ooh, ah. And when you've done that, to me, being a wrestler made you, oh, I've done my job. If you're getting in and think you're going to make big money, and you're going to be a superstar, you're getting in the business for the wrong reason. And nowadays, getting into this business, I would tell somebody else, if you got other kind of skills, do that. You don't want to live the life of professional wrestling and all out what it's cut to be. What you see on TV is just an image. It's an image, it's a game, but in real life, he got problems at home. You see what I'm saying? He got problems with his wife. You know, it's just like everybody else is kind of going around the world, but it's that image that they see on TV. But in real life, he's got troubles too, man. So me, if you're not giving it 110% and you're doing it for the love of what you want to do, if you're in it thinking that you're going to be a superstar and that you're going to make money, don't even waste your time.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Too Cold Scorpio, guys, keep it going.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed your week here at ComicCon.
Oh, yeah.
And if you did, you got about another 3 or 4 and a half to enjoy.